Good morning. So what we're going to be doing today is our Stateboard chemical relaxer. Miss Rachel will be reading the instructions for me, and then we are going to be step by step how to do the chemical relaxer, because a lot of you guys are having a lot of trouble getting this procedure done within the 15 minutes, is it?
Yes.
Within the 15 minutes you guys get. So this video is going to drop it down step by step, so it's a lot easier for you guys to understand it. So ready?
Yes. You will perform a chemical hair relaxer virgin application. You will apply simulated relaxer product on one back quadrant section of hair. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 15 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 8 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin.
All right, so if you guys can tell, my doll head is already draped. When you guys are at Stateboard, the doll head is still going to be draped for your chemical ones. And then I still have the gloves, because you will be using the same gloves throughout the whole chemical procedures. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sanitize my hands. You guys keep in mind that when you do this procedure, the equipment you're going to need is your tint bowl, tint brush, protective cream, hand sanitizer, paper towels, obviously your clips, and then your 4 bags and your cape. Okay, so for the ones that asked for me to be more specific on your tools and equipment, that's pretty much what you need for this procedure. Don't overthink it. Don't try to add more to your kit than what you need to. It's simple. Tint bowl, tint brush, hand sanitizer, and just your clips. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply protective cream. I went ahead and put my protective cream on a end paper. Thank you. On an end paper. You guys will have it in a small container, and you will have your Q-tips. So the relaxer and the retouch are the only procedures you will be using any protective cream. Do not try to do it on any other ones, because right away that they're docking points. So you're only going to do from behind the ear to halfway of the head. So just that quadrant. Okay, make sure you put enough for the proctor can see. If they can't see that you applied it, then they don't know that that is something you already did or not. So once that's done, your Q-tip is going to go in your trash, and you have to go ahead, make sure you re-sanitize. My hands are going to get all. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rip a paper towel, and I'm just going to make like a little hat on the top 2 sections, just so I don't get any product on these quadrants. Okay, and then just put clip, and it should hold everything together. So your subsections shouldn't be more than 1/4 of an inch. Okay, if you're taking too much, then just go back. So what you're gonna do is 1/2 inch off the scalp, 1 inch off the ends. Okay, you're only going to be doing the mid shaft all the way down the quadrant. Don't try to go ahead and do the whole piece and then move on, because right away you are getting points docked. Make sure you put enough product on your tint brush so you don't have to go back and do this. The more you keep swipe with your brush, you're just wasting more time just standing there. Okay, when you flip the hair over, make sure you cross them so they don't get stuck with each other, and you don't have it doesn't all mesh up together. You want to make sure the proctor sees your subsections in between. You want to make sure everything is nice and neat. You don't want them to kind of second guess you. Okay, and it's okay if you start off slow. If you guys can tell, I am starting a little slow. But as you move on, as long as you build up the speed, then that's fine. Okay, make sure your sections aren't too thick. Make sure your sections aren't the way mine was right now, because that's a little too thick for the proctor's liking. Okay, make sure that you grab enough product, but not too much that it's going to all drip onto the floor. Anything that touches the floor, you have to stop the procedure, clean up, and then sanitize and restart, or just kind of pick up where you left off. That's wasting too much time, so just make sure you're very careful. Okay. Did you get that? No? Okay, as you go lower into the quadrant, when the head starts to get a little bit wider, it's up to you if you want to go ahead and section that out into two, or if you just want to take the whole section across. Okay, don't feel like you have to, you only have the product you put into your tint brush the first time. You guys can go ahead and dip the tint brush back into your container, because I did notice when we were practicing, a lot of you guys are trying to pass a dry brush and trying to play it off like, yes, I did it. Even though I might have seen you do it, I'm not grading you guys. I'm not testing you guys when you go do a Stateboard. Someone else's, so it's pretty much of what they see in their perspective. So if they don't see that you did it, even though you passed a dry brush over and over and over again, to them, you didn't do what needed to be done. So as you guys can see, a little bit of the product fell. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my tint brush in my tint bowl, grab a paper towel, wipe up the product I dropped. Okay, the paper towel goes into your trash. Remember to re-sanitize before you go back to your procedure. Okay, once you sanitize, and just pick up where you left off.
I didn't realize Barber said to do the entire quadrant for.
Yeah, because the Barbers, the Cosmos are different, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to do the whole, which is good. At least they know, if they ever decide.
Good practice.
Yeah. Oops, excuse me. Okay, we're almost towards the bottom. Once we get to the bottom, it is up to you whether you want to take the whole section down or if you want to work from the bottom all the way up. So this procedure is done in 3 steps, okay? The only reason why it's done in 3 steps is that before we were doing the whole section of hair before we moved on, but we were noticing that a lot of the barbers were getting points stocked off because, like I said, it's all up to the proctor's perspective. If you go ahead and saturate the whole section of hair at once, or even though you did it in 3 steps, but you did the whole section before you moved on, he or she might have not seen that you did that, and they're going to take it as in, oh, they're doing a full color, so they don't know what they're doing. Okay, so please make sure you guys practice this over and over and over again. I know it's a little frustrating that it has to be done into 3, but as long as you do it right the first time when you're there and you pass, then you don't have to do this ever again if it's not something you want to do. Okay, so just think of it this way. It's not like we're torturing you. It's not that we want you to just do stuff that you're never going to use. This is just stuff that the state requires of us to teach you guys. So just make sure, like I said, just like your perms as well, it's not something that you guys want to do like for the rest of your life. It's fine. Just get it right the first time and then don't worry about it ever again. Okay, because it's not like your license is gonna expire soon and you have to take this test all over again. Okay, so just keep that in mind, because I know a lot of you guys hate this procedure in general. All right, so once that's done, I'm gonna work from the bottom to the top, because there's no point for me to just bring all this down if I'm gonna bring it all the way up again. So I'm just gonna dip my product again, and I'm gonna go slightly off the scalp. So when I mean slightly, you're gonna get as close as you can without touching the scalp, okay? And that's it, leave the ends alone. Okay, bring down your next section. Okay, and like I said, make sure your subsections are 1/4 inch. And just slightly off the scalp. And if you want to go ahead and blend it down to the mid shaft, then go ahead and do that. Just as long as you stay away from the ends, and you are fine. Okay, and the tint brush doesn't need a lot of product. You don't want to over saturate the hair there, and then for it to kind of get into the scalp, and then for you to get dark points for that. Okay, if you feel like it's getting messy, your hands are getting full of the product, then just go ahead and stop. You guys have a roll of paper towels there, and just wipe your hands clean. It's not a wrong or a bad thing for you to stop to clean your hands. You'd rather be clean and neat than to be messy, and then for the proctor to just think like this person's just half-assing it, just wants to get this done, and then they're just going to keep paying attention to you. So whatever it takes for them not to pay attention to you or just focus on you, then go ahead and do that. Okay, and if you do get any color on the scalp, all you have to do is wipe it off. So if you guys can see there, there's some on the scalp. So all you have to do is with your finger, with the paper towel, just remove it. Okay, don't make it hard on you. Don't try to do anything fancier. Don't try to even hide it, because there is mirrors everywhere, and they will be keeping an eye on everyone. Okay, once I get to the top, then all I'm going to be doing now is just the ends. So for you to avoid for this to get messy, you can go ahead and just slightly dip your tint brush, slightly, and just do the ends. Once you do the ends, smooth all the way through and flip the hair over. Okay, same thing, ends, smooth, flip the hair over. Okay, if you have enough product in the tin purse that you don't have to go back and put more product, then don't do it. Like I said, don't try to do anything extra. Don't try to be like, oh, I want him or her to see that I am applying more product towards the end. You don't want to stick out like a sore thumb throughout the whole procedure. Like I said, there's a lot of, there's about 8 people in the same room, so you don't want to be the one that's singled out because you did a little bit of extra work. Okay, and if you are getting any product on the other quadrant, then just go ahead and wipe it off. As long as you wipe it off, as long as the proctor sees that you are aware that you got product on the other side and you wiped it off, then that's all that matters. Now that we're getting towards the end, so once you finish, it is all up to you whether you want to bring the section down or you want to leave it up. Me personally, I would leave it up just so when the proctor goes around, he can see the subsections in between. Just because there's so much product, if we bring it down, there's the risk of kind of meshing everything together, and we don't want that. Okay, so once that is done, you're gonna grab a paper towel, because keep in mind your hands are going to be very messy. Wipe your hands clean. If you do not want to wipe your hands clean, you guys can go ahead and take your glove off. It's a personal preference. I like to leave my gloves on just because my hands will get sweaty and it's going to be a lot harder to kind of switch my gloves out for the next procedure. Okay, so paper towel goes into the trash. You're going to sanitize, step back, and then just wait for him to come and check it, and then we'll move on to the next procedure. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.